You're now tuned in to the Desire to Trade podcast, a show where we bring you the best figures of the trading world and teach you how you can become a successful trader. This is your host, Etienne Crete.
Etienne Crete here, Forex trader and founder of Desire to Trade. Welcome to episode 87 of the Desire to Trade podcast. You get to see that today's episode is a little bit different than what we usually have here on the podcast. In this episode, I'm interviewing a trader who's really on his way toward being a full-time trader. He's working really hard and putting in the work. You'll hear a couple of times about TopTradr, which is basically an app where you can connect your trading account and then you get ranked based on your performance. So the reason why I'm interviewing this trader today is because he ranked really well in their system. And he's going to tell us exactly why and what he's doing. I think what I like the most about interviewing traders like this is that I can see what they do really well, how they get their financing. But I also can sometimes recommend a few things because I know a couple of things that might be helpful for those traders. So that guy, Raj, has been able to get a couple of thousands to invest in his own trading, which is really, really cool. And I know a lot of you guys are also in that stage right now. And I think that's really going to be the easiest way to help you guys understand what's the process to get financing to trade. I'll talk a little bit more about TopTradr at the end. I've been talking with these guys a couple of weeks ago, and they have something great to offer. So we're going to leave the interview right away, and I'll let you guys know a little bit more at the end of what about everything there. For now, please help me welcome Raj Turner. Raj Turner, welcome on the Desire to Trade podcast. How's it doing today?
So thank you very much for having me. I'm doing very well. Trading the major peers, looking to get some more allocation from TopTradr, growing my current prop account and also looking at how I can capitalize on whatever President Trump does next.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting these days, all these movements and all the reaction to them. I think it's pretty cool. And we were talking before the podcast, and you're saying you're in Jamaica right now, which is pretty cool, I think, for most people who are stuck in a place where it's cold or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm in Kingston, Jamaica,
Nice.
Tropics, nice and warm weather.
I love it. So usually we start the interview with one quote that inspires you.
Never give up. Believe in yourself. God has given you, talent and a brain. So, just believe in yourself and never give up.
Love that. And what are you doing these days exactly? Like, tell us a little bit what you trade and what you're doing to trade.
Well, I tend to stick to the majors, the Euro US, the Pound US, the Yen crosses, and one particular commodity I like to trade is the gold. Currently in a position with the Pound Yen. So that's what I'm looking to do right now. I tend to like those pairs and that particular commodity at this time.
Nice. And are you trading intraday or more like as a swing trader?
It all depends, it's mainly swing. I tend to like swing more. I tend to find that, trading on a longer term basis is better than the intraday or the scalping. I'll do some of that, but it's mostly swing trading.
Nice. So I'm curious, tell us what a day looks like in your life of a Forex trader in Jamaica. Like what do you do when you wake up and then what do you do next?
I tend to look at Forex Factory to see when some of those market data will come out. So mainly, about 4:25 thereabouts, I get up just before some of those pound data would come out. Mm-hmm. Make some trades. From the night before or from a few days before, I'll be looking at these data to see, how best I can put in a trade. So on a typical day, I'll get up, look at the markets, look at Forex Factory to see where I can enter a trade or if I need to exit a particular trade, because it all depends on what happens with those data. The market could possibly shift. So I will look at that. Then about, 8 o'clock, you get to work, have a day job. But, now and then I'll scan through and look on the market and look at my positions and see, how best I can, enter a trade or exit a trade.
So you're managing both trading and your full-time job, is that it?
Yeah, certainly. Yes.
So, because I know a lot of people listening to this podcast have the same like struggle, the same challenge. They try to balance working 9 to 5 plus trading at the same time. What do you think are the biggest challenges of doing that, and how do you solve them?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is really time, but because of, swing trading, you don't have to necessarily, be looking at the markets every day, particularly. So because I'm doing the swing trading, I find that, I can find a little room here and there, balancing family, balancing full-time job, and also my trading account. So it is to just, schedule yourself, make time, as I said, look at what is coming next, what is happening in the market, and then you put your positions out and you check them now and then. So, that's how I overcome some of these hurdles.
Nice. That's pretty cool. And the reason why you're on this show mostly, I think, is that you got a lot of financing from TopTradr, right? So it means you're not a bad trader. You're probably really, really good because you're probably disciplined, like what you're doing and everything. Can you tell us a bit what TopTradr is about and how you got the financing from them?
Well, TopTradr is a companion app to your trading account, and what it does, it listens, or if you please, it looks at your trades to see if you are consistently making profits, to see if you're also having good risk to reward ratio, and then based on that, it will give you points based on all of those trades that you would open and would close. So over a period of time, you would accumulate, a certain amount of points. And if you are at the top of the pile, then you will get 10,000 US dollars every 2 weeks.
Wow.
So, I've won 7 times now. So I have about 70,000 there going.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, that's interesting. I think for traders like yourself, as someone who wants to trade, like something that can really help you move forward, I guess.
Oh yes. I mean, it helps you because, I've been trading a little while now, a couple of years now, but, you never really had the discipline to really execute the plan that you have. But now that you're in a competition and persons are looking at what you're doing, and then the potential to be allocated a hedge fund, and even the fact of, being called a professional trader, it motivates you to do what is right and to make consistent profits and to see if you can always stay on top of the pile and get this $10,000 to trade.
Love it. So why don't we get back in time a little bit? Tell us how you started to trade exactly. Because getting from starting to trade to getting financing, it's a big step. It's a long way, I guess. So how did that start for you?
Oh, yeah. It started a long time ago, about 10 years ago. My brother, Jamie Turner, he is a banker and a trader at that particular bank. And, I saw him fooling around these trading platforms and, I got a little curious, and he gave me some information about how it works and how you can trade and how you can make some money. So I, got a demo account, got started, eventually moved on to a live account. But, I thought I knew something when I started to trade, but I found out that I knew nothing at all. You thought it was something easy, easy to do. So I blew up quite a few accounts, I must admit. I blew up quite a few accounts.
Can we know how many accounts you blow up? Or you have an idea?
Maybe 10, 20 maybe.
Wow.
Couple thousand.
Huge. Okay. It's a lot.
I mean, getting my wife and my kids saying, man, why don't you, put this aside? It's not working out. Yeah. But as I said, never give up. Believe in yourself. So, a few years ago, I saw an email talking about TopTradr, that they'll be linking to a particular trading platform and that they'll be looking at your trades and giving you points and then allocating your funds. So I said, well, what do I have to lose? Let me try it. So I tried it there, but back then, the highest I came back then was second place. It was since late last year since I started to come first and so forth. So it is since about October thereabout since I've gotten my first allocation. But before that, I would come like second or third or be in the top 10. So, it's a long road. And it could have been shorter if I had only stuck to a trading plan and stuck to what the professionals have always been saying. Have a good plan. Have a good risk reward in your plan and just follow it. And, you pretty much make it. Yeah.
I think in my experience, most people know that they have to have a good plan and a good reward to risk. But I think sometimes I see this like as a big, like kind of mountain or big step to accomplish. What did you have to do for you to create that plan? And then did you test it, or how did you make sure that you would be able to trade it live?
Well, as I said, with this top trader thing, you want to win and you want to be on top.
Yeah.
But I mean, several research, you look at other traders who are doing well, readings as to what work, certain patterns that persons are looking for with your Fibonacci retracement, your Fibonacci expansion, your chart patterns, your wedges, your double bottoms, double tops, channels, your cipher patterns. So, putting all of these together and also having that risk to reward ratio, placing your stop loss, putting your limits. And, I remember back then when I used to trade, there's a psychological issue that I believe that I can't really speak for other traders, but you'll be in a trade and the trade is going against you. But in your mind, you're saying that if I don't close the trade, I have not won nor lost. So you allow a losing trade to go all the way till margin call takes out that trade.
That's a big one.
But psychologically, you're saying to yourself, you're not really losing. You don't really close the trade. And sometimes those losing trades, will turn around. But it is the exception and not the rule. So what you'll find is that, you will lose pretty much all your capital if you go that route.
Yeah, so you only need one bad trade to lose all your account, and that's the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Because most people who do things like that, they can have a really high reward to risk, or like a high, like a high win rate, can win a lot of times. But when they get the bad trade, they kind of stuck, and that's the problem.
It wipes out everything. Looking back and looking at it, I think that, there are several things that cause our demise, undercapitalization. Because if you're looking to, something from trading, if you only open $100 in your account, then, when you look at if you're saying that you're only going to lose about 2% on any one trade or 1%, you're talking about $1. And then you're saying, $1, it's so small. And if you have a risk to reward ratio of, say, 3-1 and you're making, $3 to every dollar loss, it's still so minute. So my advice is that if somebody's opening an account, it's good to start with proper capital, not such a small amount, because you'll be tempted to open bigger trades so that you can earn more at that particular time.
Right.
And of course, greed was also a part of it. So those are some of the things that we have to overcome. You better you save until you have that particular capital, able to control yourself. Don't allow greed to take over. And, so with TopTradr and even with the proper account, when you have, $70,000 trading, when you're looking at a 1% or a 2%, it's a good amount. It's a good amount of money. Mm-hmm. So you'll be less likely to over leverage because you can see where you can make a 5 or a 10% and it's significant enough. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's a bigger sum of money for sure. But
yeah.
Like, again, you're saying you should have a big amount of money for your account, but at the same time, you have to know what you're doing, right? Because if you don't just trade, and you'll know it's going to be harder for sure.
Yeah, it's not just having the money, it's knowing what to do. So it's good to read, to learn. I remember reading up on Baby Pips and all of these websites that will, teach you from beginner stage all the way up. So you have to read and you have to practice and, practice on your demo account before you go live. Make sure that you backtest your plan. Make sure that it is working before you go live, because if you go live and you lose your money, then frustration sets in. And when that sets in, you say to yourself that all I'm going to do is put in some more money. Then you're going to over leverage to try and make back the money that you lost. And when you lose it again, you keep doing the same thing and you're stuck in a cycle, because all you're trying to do is to make back the money that you lost instead of really learning the art of trading.
Yeah, that's powerful. Really, really powerful. And what are the things that you think are important aside from just being able to trade? Are there some habits you have outside trading helping you succeed in trading?
Yeah. I mean, some of these habits, you have to take emotions out of your trades. You have to be detached, so to speak. You don't want your emotions to tell you what to do, how to enter or exit a market. You really want your plan that you have in front of you to say, you enter here and you come out here. And if you're in a losing trade, then your stop loss should take you out at this particular point at 1 to 2%. So it's really, really a mindset, and really not allowing emotions to come in, and to allow you to just, because sometimes you may be there wanting to make a trade, and then you're flipping through the market and you see where a rally is taking place on a particular pair, but at that particular time it has already reach, let's say, the oversold on your RSI. But you're looking at the chart and you've seen it going up and you're saying, yeah, man, I have to get a part of this action. And, just as you get in there, you're now buying a pair of shoes at a higher price than you should have bought it. And therefore, you stand a greater chance of losing. So controlling your emotions and allowing your plan to work, will be good to help you in this.
And is there something you've done to help you do that, or is it only through practice and like repeating this process again and again?
Yeah. Practice, because sometimes you feel that impulse. When I feel the impulse, because, we're humans, you feel that impulse and you want to get in there. But you have to say, listen, man, you see, I think one of the things is that we tend to see trading as a short-term, thing to make some money. But if you look at it at a longer-term time frame, then you realize that, listen, man, if you don't go into this trade, it's not the end of the world. There'll be many more. So leave this trader alone, even if you have to move away from the computer, to close down the platform, to prevent yourself from entering into a trade that that is not in your plan. So it's really to get away from it if you don't have that self-will to not open that particular trade.
Yeah, just that I think is a thought that really helped me when I was struggling with taking like too many trades. Yeah, it really helped me. Just thinking about that, it's crazy. And I think, like, personally, I think the other thing is when you think about, like, is this trade going to help me or, like, hurt me in trading? Like, is it something I should take, really? And when you think about it, sometimes it's not. So you have to step away.
Right. That's certainly correct, That's certainly correct.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, through experience. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's really through experience, and that's the thing. So, but I guess one of the big problem with this is that people are not patient enough. And, like, I'm like that to 100%. Like, I don't want to wait for a long time to have a certain like reward or certain profit. So is there a way you've been able to deal with being patient more?
Well, yeah. As I said one of them is having proper capitalization, because, human nature, you tend to want to see, bigger profits in your account than a $1 or $2 or $3 or $10. So if you start, I don't know, maybe with a $5,000 or, somewhere close to that, when you make a trade, you're actually seeing something that you think is good enough. Then the chances are that you would stay away from making over leveraging. But also, it also boils down to your plan, because, the market, it's pretty much a 50-50 chance. I mean, if you over leverage, yes, it could go the correct direction and you make a big, amount of profit. But what if it goes the other way? Suppose something happened that you weren't aware of in the market, and it goes the other way. So you have to take all of these things into consideration, that you're looking for a long-term risk-to-reward ratio, consistently making profit. So a trader needs to have that plan and need to stick with the plan. Right?
Yeah. But do you still ever find yourself like not being able to be patient enough? Because like it takes a lot of time, right? To, let's say, because I know a lot of people get tired of trading in the testing phase. They try to test their strategies, but then they feel it's wrong, or they're demo trading and they feel it's wrong, and they want to jump further ahead to like live right away. So I think there's a big issue with patience there.
Yeah.
To correct that, or to make this a little bit less painful?
Well, yeah, patience, yeah, man. You definitely have patience, self-control. How should I put it? I want to go into good trades, and I keep referring, to the plan. So, when you make your analysis, when you look at your fundamentals and your technical analysis, you want to follow those, because, you just have to be patient, because the market will always go up, it will always go down. So there will be opportunities for you to come in at a particular price and to exit at a particular price. So you just have to tell yourself that, listen, yes, it seems to be going this particular direction, but at that particular price, you should not enter. So I keep, going back to the plan, the plan is this. Because if you go in at this particular point, then your risk to reward ratio will be out of whack, But when you enter at a particular point, you're looking at 2 to 3 or 4, reward to risk. So it all still boils down to your plan and sticking to that plan because you want to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let me understand if I get it right, but you're kind of getting addicted to acting in your plan and doing everything right. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, that's
you're
correct.
not addicted to profit, but to doing your plan correctly.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, you want profit and you like to see profit, but at the same time, the plan is what will get you this profit, So it's best not to be looking to see a big profit in the next month or the next week or even a day. Because, sometimes you want to make the big whack in a day, especially with some competitions I see out there. That's why TopTradr is so different because you have some competitions that only really look at percentage gain and profit. And you will see persons making 4,000%, in a month and all of these things. But those are never sustainable. You want something that is sustainable, 5 to 10% per month, 20%, and over time, you'll find yourself making a certain amount of profit.
Yeah. And in the end, it's not the percentage, it's going to be the money overall. So if you have more money that you're getting financed, it's more easy to make more money for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good point. And if you were to ask yourself, what does your plan look like? Is it like on paper? Is it like a couple of pages? What does it look like?
It's on paper. It's developing. It's not a couple pages, but it's on paper for sure. I even have given it a name, So I've given my plan even a name, So when I'm making a trade, I would say F10 levels. That's the name of my plan. And that speaks to risk reward. It speaks to, how much capital are you willing to risk on a particular trade. It speaks to pretty much everything that you would put into making a trade. So you're looking at your fundamentals, you're looking at your technicals. You want a confluence of indicators and fundamentals to say, yes, this trade is the right trade. So whenever I'm going to make a trade, I'm saying, remember, F10, is the name of your plan. So you just stick to what is outlined in that plan. And yes, I do have it outlined, but it's just about a page now. I know some persons have many pages, but I have just about,
That's what I try to push people to do, is only having one page, because you don't need much. You only need the things that you really have to kind of remember, but the rest is it's fine.
Right. Oh yes.
And it's much more harder if you have to scroll to tens of pages to find your entry signal or whatever. So
sure, that's true. That's
easier to get, yeah.
Certainly, because even though I say I have one page, the page is not full. It's not full either. Because my plans, it just as the levels talks about, your support and your resistance, and the 10 talks about, certain amount of risk to reward and so forth. So it's not, a tedious, long plan that you can't remember. It's something that you can remember on the go. And this is how it goes. And once you do it this way, you're more likely to come out on top.
Yeah, I love it. And there's a saying that says, I think the best trading strategies are the one you can write on a napkin. And that's always right, I think.
Oh, yeah, certainly. You ought to be able to remember what your plan is.
Exactly. Love it. And then how do you track your trade after that's done? How do you make sure that you're doing the right thing?
Well, you mean while I'm in a trade or after?
I guess while or after, yeah, whatever.
Oh, well, I'm currently looking at putting a journal together. I tend to try to remember what I've done and so forth. But it's good to have your journal in place. TopTradr is encouraging us to put a journal together. So I'll be starting that this week. So I can look back at those trades and to see if I could do things a little better. Because, you can always tweak your plan, to make it more efficient or to make it more profitable. So I'm going to put a journal together to track all the trades to see, what indicators, did I use to enter this trade, at what levels, where did I plan to come out, where did I plan to get in, what was happening in the marketplace at that time in terms of fundamentals. So we're definitely going to be recording all of these trades and to see, where I can make some adjustments to make it better. Yeah.
And that's a really big help. For me, it's been really, really useful to track everything and see what I'm doing wrong or right, and then how I can correct those in the future. So
yes.
that's a good key for sure.
Yeah.
And then just to go back to what we said in the beginning, you're saying that you trade with a job. So basically, do you look at the chart only once a day, or is it multiple times in a day? Or do you need to go multiple times in your chart?
Well, I look at them multiple times, not necessarily that I'm there, as I'm a swing trader. So I'll have a position open for several days. But, you tend to just, glance at them as you're working. You just look at your phone or wherever the platform is, at a glance to see if the trade that you're in, if it's going as planned, Yeah, so I'll just glance at it nowadays. Yeah, multiple times. But I am trying to cut down because I noticed that when you tend to look at the charts too often, you tend to want to wonder and doubt, is the correct trade? Because the trade is going the other direction. It will go in this direction. If you just be patient and just allow the trade to go on as planned, you will find maybe a day or two, you're well on your way in profit and you're well on your way to meeting your target. And, sometimes you may look and you see that it's in profit. And there is this impulse in you to say, close the trade at this time. You don't want to go there. You quickly close the trade and then it messes up your risk to reward ratio. So you find that you have a lot of winning trades. But one losing trade cuts out about 10 of those small winning trades that your impulse causes you to close because you keep looking at charts. So my thing is, I'm trying to cut down on looking at charts so often.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. And I think you feel much better when you don't look at charts, right? Like when you just set and forget. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Because, as I said earlier, this thing about controlling emotions and so forth, because, I remember feeling really stressed sometimes because of just looking at the chart. The thing is going the other way and you feel really, really stressed about it. And you're saying, why did I enter this trade? Even though you know that it was because of, analysis and your plan. And, as I said, 2 days on, the thing is going the direction that you have planned it to go. So all of this emotion was unnecessary. So, listening to some of these professional traders, they say, listen, man, we just go in and we execute our plan and we close down the platform. And we'll come back maybe a few hours later or the next day to check to see what's going on. So I'm trying to adopt some of these professional traders who knows the rope.
Yeah, that's awesome. Have you ever had any kind of mentors or people helping you when you're trading? Or did you do everything yourself?
Well, currently with the TopTradr, they have this person by the name of Andy Demi. I've been privileged to see him trade live and to attend some of his webinars. So he will coach us as to things to do. So TopTradr have provided this opportunity. I believe when you're placed second, you get the opportunity to see Andy Demi trade live and to attend a course with him. So, that's where I'm getting some of my coaching from, and even from TopTradr, because they have their prop desk manager who will write you now and then and to coach you along the way as to how you can, consistently make profit and not to blow up the hedge fund that you're allocated.
Love that. And I think one of the things I realized is that you're kind of surrounded by other traders, which is really essential. Like you cannot succeed alone, I think, in trading. You have to know at least other people who trade and be around them a little bit more.
Oh yes, certainly. And with TopTradr, they have also created a TopTradr Facebook group, where traders can come and talk and to share their experience as to, and to ask, how do you do this? Why do you do that? And it's good, to talk to each other and to encourage and to share ideas as we all try to continue to be profitable traders.
Yeah, pretty cool. Love it. Do you have any other advice you'd like to give to traders listening to this right now? Anything that they need to know or they need to learn?
Well, as I said, they definitely need to create a good trading plan, and they need to learn the ropes first before you enter the market. You need to learn, risk to reward ratios, know how to analyze a chart, analyze fundamental data. But it's definitely, having that good risk to reward ratio and not over leveraging or risking too much of your capital. Some persons will say don't risk more than 1%, but I tend to 1 to 2%. That's for me. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but 1 to 2%. So if you have a loss there of 2%, you still have about 98%, still there. You're able to recover and you're able to move on. So have a good plan and stick to the plan, because you can have a plan that you don't stick to because of emotion. So learn to be patient, learn to control emotion, have a good plan, have a good mentor, and have good risk to reward ratio. And you should make it if you follow that, and follow, have good analysis.
Love it. And I'll just plug this right here. If you're wondering what kind of percentage you should risk per trade, the easiest way I think to calculate it is to go through the risk of ruin by, I think Brand Penfold mentioned this to me on a podcast. Basically a calculation that you do, and then you can find if your risk of ruin is going to be 0, then it's good. You're risking enough, and that's fine. But if you have a higher risk of ruin than 0, like 0.5 or whatever, then you're risking way too much. You have to reduce that a lot. So I'll just make sure to put the formula in the show notes so you guys can check it out. And that's going to be easy to calculate for sure and help you guys.
Okay, sure. I'll check that out. And one of the things I like to do is to remove the risk when I make a trade. So if I'm in a particular trade and it has gone a certain amount of pips, what I like to do is to, what I call it, break even, or to remove out of that trade. Not to do it too early, because if you do it too early, you can be closed out in a good trade. But to do it just at the right time, and you take out all of that risk instead of still, you're having the trade going in your direction and you still have your stop loss all the way down here. And then, I don't know, some influential world figure could say something and the market, reacts and you could have broken even. So I tend to want to do that to minimize or to put the risk to 0 by moving the stop loss to a break-even position.
That's good. And how do you know when to do it? Because I feel even myself, I get tricked out sometimes with that thing. I move my stop loss too early or a little bit too late. So do you have a good rule, or how does that work?
Well, this is where your Fibonacci's will come in with the certain levels and your various support and your various, what am I saying now? Yeah, support and resistance levels. As with your expansion, it has, a few levels that traders are looking at. So if it hit, say, target 1 of your Fib expansion, then you could say, right about, you could probably break even and then wait for it to hit your next target and the other targets on. But to simplify things, I tend to just say the market has moved maybe 100 pips or thereabout in my favor. Then I'll tend to break even thereabout. Nothing is a perfect thing, but just about there. Yeah,
exactly. Like you said, it's never going to be perfect, but at least you can have a way to do it, and that's important, I think, to always be like standardized a little bit more. And I never thought about this idea of the Fibonacci. I think it's a great one. So maybe I'll try this out at some point for sure. It's good. Love it. Cool. So Raj, how can people find you if they want to reach out or connect with you after the podcast?
Well, the easiest way is on TopTradr Facebook group. So they can, go on the Facebook account or open their Facebook account and look us up at TopTradr Facebook group. And I'll be right there to answer any questions they have or to give any advice that they may need. So TopTradr Facebook group.
Pretty cool. Love that. And what kind of goal do you have for the future?
Well, my goal is to create a profitable trading track record, with the view to be allocated major capital. As I said, I currently have around 70,000. I'd like to get more capital, from probably TopTradr, other persons that trader may be working with. So I want to establish a very, 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 very good trading record so I can be allocated greater capital. Because even with TopTradr, I believe one of the traders, or more than one of the traders, have actually gone to work for major banks, So I'm looking forward. I'm not saying necessarily that I want to work for a major bank per se, but to be allocated, good capital. Good capital.
That's great. And what's your main motivation to do all this?
Well, the desire to win, I like to win, and also for a better quality of life, with the freedom to work and earn at my own pace. As I said earlier, I have your irregular 9 to 5, but you'd want a little freedom, to travel, to explore, to spend more time with your family, so, freedom, to win, to have a better quality of life.
That freedom is like my favorite word.
and also to help people, help people along the way, not just in trading, but, help the less fortunate and so forth. So some of those things, I'm a church guy. So, I believe in God. I believe in helping people. I believe in doing the right thing, Yes.
Awesome. So just want to remind people that all the show notes are going to be on desirettotrade.com. If people want to find the links we talked about today, desirettotrade.com is going to be all there, and people are going to be able to reach out to you, find how they can connect with you. And I'm also going to record an outro after that, talk a little bit more about TopTradr, what you guys are doing and what is possible. And we have a question we ask the guests at the end of every podcast. If you could give only one piece of advice for traders in one sentence, what would that one sentence of advice be?
Suppress emotion and stick to a well-developed and proven trading plan.
Wow, that is powerful. Raj Turner, thanks so much for being on the podcast. It's been a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right, so that was it for the interview with Raj Turner. I really hope you guys get some value out of this. I told you I would tell you a little bit more about TopTradr and what it's about. The way it works is it's basically an app that you connect to your trading account and you link it to MT4 or MetaTrader 4. It works with a couple of different brokers, or you can pick one from their list of recommended brokers, and then you get ranked. And if you get in the top of the ranking, you get the chance to manage a $10,000 trading account. So it's pretty simple. You create your profile, you link it to your account, and then you start trading. So in case you guys want to check it out, you simply have to go on desirettotrade.com/top. That is desirettotrade.com/TOP. And you'll be able to see what it's about. If you have any interest, try it out, see if it works for you, and see if you can get in the top of that ranking. That would be really cool. The link is obviously going to be in the show notes as well. It's been again a pleasure to have you here on the podcast today, and I'll see you back in the next episode of the Desire to Trade podcast. Ciao.
Thanks for listening to the Desire to Trade podcast. To get all the information on this show, free articles, and unique resources, make sure to check out www.desiretotrade.com and subscribe. Please leave us a review and let us know what you thought about the show. It's time to become the best trader you can be. See you next time.